Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. It's region weather meteorologist Matt Wentz with a look at your forecast. Hope you're enjoying your week so far. We're almost there. We've almost made it to the weekend, and a lot of you reported this strange thing in the sun in the sky this evening and afternoon. And I think I've gotten to the bottom of it. We'll give you the answer here coming up in the forecast, but I think it was the sun. I'm not sure. And I hope you guys didn't get too close to it, but it was certainly nice to see that the sunshine still exists here in the region after high pressure settling in a little bit today. A couple things to talk about. We've got a storm system on the way tomorrow that's going to bring us some rain and some wet snow. Of more, I guess, important focus is going to be next week, where we have that pattern change that we've been highlighting. That's going to bring about, some wintry weather and some snow and some cold, not just for us, but basically the eastern half of the country. And a lot of people haven't even seen snow yet. The eastern seaboard hasn't. I think it's going to do the job. And I have a feeling it's going to stick around for Christmas. We'll take you through the maps. We'll let you decide. But let's run our intro video first here on our Thursday evening edition of Region Weather Live. And welcome in, everybody. It's Matt with you. Good to be with you this evening. Don Z, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. Guys, I hope you can hear me okay. My microphone has gone missing here at the station. I'm going to guess that maybe engineering took it for some weird reason, but I hope my webcam, which is right here, is picking me up okay. Please let me know as soon as you can in the comment section, either on YouTube or on our Facebook page, if you're picking me up okay, because that would be the worst if we went through all this. Okay, Shar says yes. Okay, thank you, Shar. That would be the worst to, keep talking and you can't hear. Okay, thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. All right, let's get to the forecast. First and foremost, always want to thank our sponsors. We have our newest sponsor, Ewing Residential Services. They service anything relating to the atmosphere in your house, whether it be a humidifier, which is so important this time of year, or HVAC, even AC, furnace, all that stuff. They give you top quality brands. They're from right here in the region. It's ewingresidentialservices.com. Check out their Facebook page as well. They just ran a contest where they were giving away some money just for liking their page. I think they're going to do that again later on this month, so you might want to check them out. It's ewingresidentialservices.com. Tiger Plumbing, our favorite plumbers in the region, tigerplumbing.net. They charge no trip fees. They're wonderful. So many of you have used them. Just a wonderful family-owned business. Make them your plumber. It's not often you need one, but make them your plumber if you need one. Tigerplumbing.net. Discovery Travel, they help you get away. Anything you want to do, they'll help you do it, whether it be planning airlines or flights or hotels, anything like that. They're a local travel agency as well. Raving reviews from a lot of you who have used them or are planning on using them. It's Discovery Travel. It's trvl.com. They're also on Facebook. And finally, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, our favorite car dealership in the region. It's Jeep season. It always is. Four-wheel drive sounds great once the snow hits. Check them out in Valparaiso. It's Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. All right, in terms of the forecast, two things we're going to talk about. Storm system right now that's pushing out of Iowa is going to bring some decent snow to them. We get that tomorrow, so we'll let you know the effects of that. And then I want to go long range with you. I usually don't do that on Thursdays. We usually stick focused on the weekend, but I want to go long range because the big pattern change is next week. So here's our system we're dealing with right now. It doesn't look like much. It's a little area of low pressure. It's kind of compact. It's got a decent amount of moisture with it. But watch what happens as we go through time. You notice how that moisture kind of expands overnight tonight in areas of Iowa where they're probably going to pick up a good 4 to 6 inches in spots. This is a very heavy wet snow for them. For us, we've got temperatures right around 30 degrees right now in the region. That will change tonight. As the system comes in, it'll pull in some warmer air from the south, so our temperature is likely to rise. So I'm not too concerned about this being anything icy tomorrow. I'm not concerned really about the snow locally tomorrow. If you have travel plans in northern Illinois, that's where the winter weather advisory is. And keep in mind, a winter weather advisory just means winter conditions, right? Take it seriously, but it's not a winter storm watch or a warning or anything like that. This is certainly a manageable little system as it moves in. So it hits tomorrow morning into midday. That's when we'll start to see some rain. We may see some wet flakes of snow mixing in initially. It should go over to mainly rain throughout the day. Pretty quick hit, but we could get some solid moisture in there. This is the HRRR model, which is a little bit cooler than the NAM and all the rest of the models. So you notice the HRRR model is showing some mixing, and that mixing, it's showing freezing rain. I don't see that at all. Our temperatures for freezing rain have to be below freezing here at the surface, and it usually helps if they're below freezing at the surface for a while. You got to get that ground cold, because what freezing rain is rain that's falling that hits a frozen ground, frozen tables, frozen sidewalks, frozen cars, all that stuff, right? Our temperatures here at the surface are going to be too warm. We're going to be above freezing. So I do not see freezing rain in the forecast. If anything, we'd see those big gloppy wet snowflakes mix in. Could we get a little slush out of it by the time it's all said and done? Yep, it'd probably be our northern counties. So you'd have to be Lakeport or LaPorte, but you have to be a little bit inland because the lake still is providing some warmth. So it'd have to be probably 2 miles inland, and it would just be confined to the northern tier, probably north of US 30. And again, that's just a little slush at worst, right? I think the majority of this is going to be rain mixed with some wet snow, okay? System moves by. This is tomorrow evening for your Friday evening plans. The system will be moving out, but I think we're going to have a lot of low clouds, probably some fog, some drizzle around. There's just going to be lingering moisture that's going to be hard to get out of here. So keep that in mind if you're heading out tomorrow night. I don't see there being big travel impacts by any means, but I do think we'll have just kind of murkiness around, and you'll probably be running the wipers as you're out and about. For Saturday, the moisture kind of lingers. I think we'll be stuck with some clouds. There's another quick kind of potent system that's moving across the northern part of the lakes on Saturday into Sunday. Here it is here. It doesn't look like much. There's a little wave down to the south, but this is Saturday afternoon. Notice we start to increase just some shower chances. So we'll have some clouds, probably low clouds Saturday morning. They'll probably lift a little bit during the day, maybe a couple drops of rain here and there. And then Saturday night, they'll lower back again as the system comes in. And I do think we'll get probably some rain showers around here. I would say light rain showers Saturday evening into Saturday night. That should be out of here by Sunday, okay? That's your weekend system. Let's go beyond that, okay? And I want to go big picture here. You guys can see this okay, I hope. Okay. So this is the country right now. These are your highs and lows, all right? The thing I'm watching is this little tiny low right here. It's actually a pretty decent low, but it's a little feature. It's right off in the Gulf of Alaska there. Okay, watch what happens as we go through time. This low dives south towards California. It is going to slam into the West Coast on Monday. Heavy rain, heavy mountain snow. They have had such, and I say this every Region Weather Live, they've had such a snow season out west. All right. Every storm that's come in to the Sierra Nevadas has put down 1 to 2 feet of snow for them. And this is going to be another 1 to 2 footer for them. There's going to be spots out there that have over 60 inches of snow on the ground, just much needed for all of the western U.S. Their drought has gotten a little dent in it, which has been great. The latest drought monitor came out today. Anyway, so this system's going to help them. This is Monday into Tuesday. This system slams in out there, all right? And then it comes out in the plains. Actually, it's a little quicker than that. It slams in Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday is when it comes out in the plains. So over the weekend, they're going to be getting hit. Monday, Tuesday is when it comes out in the plain states. As a big area of low pressure, it'll kind of traverse over the Rockies. It'll form a new low in the southern plains. And that low is the one that's going to be a game changer this week. I'm showing you big picture view right now, and then we'll zoom in locally and talk about impacts. But this low is really going to be a strong one in the plains. We'll likely have a blizzard on the northern side of it. Yes, a blizzard, and this would be in the Dakotas. I would add Nebraska, but I think Dakotas are going to get hit pretty hard from this. That's Wednesday, Thursday, and then we get in the cold air, and you can see kind of the pattern how this low pulls all this cold air in from Canada that's been sitting up there but hasn't come south, and then we stay locked in on the cold at least through the following weekend, which is getting into Christmas week, okay? So let's go a little bit more local. And let's talk about what we're seeing, okay? So here's your weekends. Here's the system tomorrow. You know, it's a little rain, snow. That's out of here. A little rain around here Saturday night into Sunday. That's out of here. If for some reason this weekend you have travel plans out towards Pennsylvania or New York, this little system that goes by Saturday night, Sunday is going to become a heavier snow for them. They're probably going to get a good 3 to 6 inches out there on Sunday. But we're quiet as of Monday. We're quiet as of early Tuesday. Here comes the low pressure. This is Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening now. We'll probably have severe weather down in the southern plains. Arkansas looks to get hit pretty hard from this, probably a tornado outbreak at some point on the leading edge of the system. Here's your blizzard on the northern end of the system. 60-mile-per-hour winds, not out of question, heavy snow. And in terms of the meteorology of this, there's not really much of a question in terms of where the track of the low is. A lot of times we're tracking exactly where that low is, and it's either going to head north or head south, and that ribbon of snow is either going to head north or south, and it's a big discussion. Where does the low go? For this one, I'm not too concerned. It doesn't matter where the low goes for us here locally. We know it's going to be north and west of us. We know we're going to be on the warm side of things Tuesday into Wednesday. So we're going to have a nice south wind, probably gusty wind at that. We'll eventually get some rain, maybe a rumble of thunder as this thing moves through, but we'll have some rain with it. And that would be Tuesday into Wednesday. We're still on the warm side, okay? This is Wednesday morning. We're getting some rain. Cold air still back towards our west. That low kind of wraps in. So as of the Euro run, this is the Euro run. I'll show you the GFS as well. But Wednesday into Thursday, we get a little break. So the front goes by. Temperatures are coming down, but we're really not seeing a lot of snow out of this. It's Thursday night into Friday that this low pressure moves in. You can see it kicks off general snow showers all across the Great Lakes. There's some rain mixed in there on the modeling. I don't agree with that. I think we're going to be cold enough to produce all snow with this, especially with cold air aloft. But regardless, look at the footprint of snow all across the Great Lakes. None of this is particularly heavy until you get over into the darker blues, which would be over towards the actual low. What's expected to develop with this is another East Coast low, and that brings heavy snow to the East Coast. So that's where it gets heavy. So this would just be snow showers. It'd be windy, much colder. This is Friday. There'd be snowflakes flying. Can we get a little accumulation? Sure. How about lake effect? I know that's going to be a good question. The low itself looks kind of disorganized at this point. There's no driving wind across the lake yet. It would be the weekend that we would start some lake effect. So this is Friday. Here's Saturday now. And you see how Saturday, it still has that rain signal. Again, I think most of this will be snow, but you can see how we finally start to align the winds across the lake. So that would bring in some lake effect. It doesn't look to be too intense. I don't think we're going to get a lot of snow out of this system, but things are going to turn wintry. And in my mind, and I said this on Sunday night during our Region Weather Live, that's going to set us up for success if you want snow for Christmas week, because that will set our storm track further south. So any storms we get the next week would bring perhaps more snow than rain. I'll show you what I mean here. The last model I want to look at is a GFS. I want to show you that. We'll look at what some of the models are spitting out in terms of snowfall totals. Again, the heaviest is going to be west. I don't see this being a huge snow for us, but it's certainly going to turn us wintry around here. And then I'll answer your questions as we always do, and we'll get you on your way here tonight. So here we go. This is the GFS. There's that system. See, it has it mainly rain here. It's a little bit warmer. There's your Sunday system. And then we dry out Monday, Tuesday. Here it comes. Pretty good agreement in terms of where that low goes out in the plains. This is Tuesday and the Wednesday. There's our dose of rain and wind. Front goes by. This is Thursday into Friday. The snow starts to wrap in on Friday, snow showers. There's Saturday, there's Sunday. It's got snow, a little bit of snow coming off the lake. It's just a very snowy scene, right? It turns much snowier. Nothing particularly heavy. But I mentioned, and the GFS goes further than the Euro, so we can continue to look further into Christmas week. I can take you all the way up to Christmas Eve. Doesn't mean it's going to be accurate. Okay, it's fantasy land. But that cold air is now settled. Okay, so now the next storm that comes, we're on the cold side of things. Okay, and this is what I mean by this. The GFS has another system down to the south. This is the 22nd of December, so we're leading up to Christmas. GFS brings another storm, and we're on the cold side. So we have snow with that. And then it brings another system in here right there. This is Christmas Eve. This would be a big storm, and it looks like we would have a snowstorm on that. Again, I've been around this way too long to tell you that this is probably going to change right here, okay? We're probably not going to see a huge snowstorm that looks like this. We might see some kind of version of it, but it's way too early to be forecasting that far out. I just want to show you the trend, because that trend is that we get colder, storm track goes south, and that would give us a pretty good chance at a white Christmas around here, okay? So there's that for you. Final thing I want to look at, snowfall totals. Here we go. So the GFS, this is all the way through Christmas Eve. You look at some of these totals, 20, 30 inches up in the plains. Keep in mind, this is what? This is 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks worth of snow. So these amounts aren't, blockbuster, but they're pretty big. For us here in the region, 4 to 7. So no big snows out of this as of right now, but there's snow out of this. The Euro, that's the wrong Euro run. That's the latest. This is the Euro run all the way through December 18th. It's got some snow, heaviest off towards our north, but lighter amounts here locally. All right. Final model I'll show you is the GEM. That's the Canadian model. And that one is kind of snowy as well, maybe 1 to 4 inches. And again, these are all model outputs. This is through December 18th on these. But notice the snowier look across the Great Lakes in the eastern U.S. So there's that. So in conclusion, big pattern change next week, happens Wednesday into Thursday. We turn more wintry around here Friday, Saturday into next weekend. Does that hold through Christmas week? As of right now, it looks like it will. That's going to be a big question. And we certainly have the cold. We just need to get the snow, okay? And that's how we look, okay? That's it. That's all I got for you. You guys have any questions? I hope that wasn't too much, and I hope that certainly helped explain kind of the weather pattern here over the next 10 to 15 days. And thank you for your comments on hearing me. That's awesome. So I really don't need a microphone because this thing right here works just fine. All right, Caitlin asked a good question a little bit earlier. What's the red, the freezing rain? Yeah, we showed that earlier, Caitlin. That is indicating freezing rain tomorrow. I don't see that being an issue locally. I think it's going to be either rain or wet snow tomorrow. Our surface temperatures here aren't going to be warm enough or aren't going to be cold enough to hold freezing rain, right? So again, I'm not too worried about that. For your Friday evening plans as you're heading on out, I don't see travel issues. I really don't. It's going to be a little sloppy out there, a little murky, some drizzle, perhaps some fog coming back into the picture as well. So keep that in mind. Yeah, Maxwell, I shared that. Maxwell brings up a great fact. I shared this on our broadcast. I did all the shows tonight. So I did the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, and I have to do the 11 tonight. And I shared that on each show. So for those of you that don't know, tonight is our earliest sunset. All right. I know it's confusing. It has to do with Earth's curvature. It has to do with all sorts of things that are way beyond my knowledge. But tonight is the earliest sunset. So sunsets from here get later. The shortest day of the year in terms of daylight is always the winter solstice, okay? So that's in, a week and a half, 2 weeks. So don't get that mistaken for that. But the sunsets will start to get later. Where we continue to lose daylight is the morning. The sunrises continue to also get later in the morning, and they get later all the way through early January before that makes a switch. But your sunsets for your trip home and all that good stuff are going to continue to get later from here. Tomorrow, it's like 2 seconds later. The next day, it's like 3 seconds later. So it's gonna take some time to get noticeable, but certainly good to see for sure. Justin, that's a great question. He asks, how are the winds next week? Justin, we've got some wind coming in with this next one. I'll just show you the wind. This is going to be a wind producer for a good portion of the country. Let me show you wind gusts, and let me take you off of the GEM to the Euro. Let's go 12Z here. So look at the wind the system's going to be producing. These are your gusts. Here we go. Let's take you up to Tuesday. 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts as that moves through. So breezy, if not slightly windy, right? And then when the backside of the system comes in right there, we're talking, I mean, that's not terrible, but that's a widespread 20 to 29 mile per hour gusts. So it is going to be windy with this. In terms of 40 or 50 mile per hour winds, not going to be the case. And the reason why that low is it's not, the compact part of the low isn't going to pass over us. It's going to be way up in Minnesota. But the fact this low is so big, we'll have this windshield that'll be really big, but it's not going to be that 40, 50, 60 mile per hour wind that we saw with that last system. Erica, thank you for that feedback. I love big picture thinking, right? In terms of the weather, to know where our system's coming from now. The reason why we've had the clouds and the fog over the last week is because our jet stream's been way out of the southern Pacific, like down by Hawaii. Our jet has been pulling all that moisture in the eastern half of the country. So the fog and the low clouds, it hasn't just been us. It's been all the way to the Gulf Coast and all the way out towards the East Coast. Everyone in the East has been experiencing this kind of dismal weather. So that's kind of interesting as well. And then, yeah, the ties to the Gulf of Alaska, that's the storm we're watching right now. And it's interesting. It's a little feature on the water vapor that you can look at, and it's just slowly moving along. And that thing's going to cause all sorts of issues next week, just the way it works and the way it comes together. Robert asks, so how much can the first snow affect future storms as for temperatures? Robert, that's a wonderful question. So snow acts like kind of like an igloo cooler, right? when you get snowpack on the ground, it acts as a cooling process or a cooler for the ground, and it keeps air temperatures cooler as well. So, oftentimes in January when we have deep snowpack, the computer models will say, hey, it's going to be 40 tomorrow. But as a meteorologist, I'll know that there's deep snowpack on the ground, and maybe the model doesn't know that. And so I'll lower that temperature and say, instead of 40, I'm going to go like 35, 36. But as soon as that snowpack starts to give way and you see open ground, remember the sun albedo effect, the sun's energy bounces off snow because it's white. Anything dark like pavement, or ground, that sun's energy absorbs. And so as soon as we start to open up the grass and open up the ground and pavement, I would go back to 40 degrees again, because it's going to heat that up and you're going to reflect that in terms of your temperature. So to answer your question, that first snow, if we can lay down some snowpack, that allows these really cold air masses from Canada to, instead of coming down and moderating, which they've been doing, they're going to come down and kind of slide across that snowpack and go to where there's bare ground, which is usually further south of here. And that's where they start to moderate. So it can help us. Snow can breed more cold and more snow. Kind of like drought can breed more drought, right? Maxwell, you're welcome, buddy, for sure. Well, I think that's it. I think that's all your questions that we have here. As always, just guys, thank you so much. Thanks for putting up with me. I hope this was helpful. Not just in terms of planning out, what you've got going on tomorrow, what you can expect, but just a good heads up for next week in terms of what we'll be dealing with. Sunday evening will be a pretty important Region Weather Live. We'll really focus on that storm system. We'll be able to throw some more accurate predictions in terms of snow and how that's going to happen and shape up in terms of lake effect or anything on the backside of the system. So I'm already excited. I know it's Thursday, but I'm already excited to talk about it on Sunday. And obviously we'll keep you updated as well. Guys, final note, if you haven't checked out, I completely redid regionweather.com. I'm in love with it. There's just so much awesome information on there. It's anything that I wanted in a weather website, whether it be the severe weather page that shows you where thunderstorms are going to be and severe weather threats and all that. It's all into one, and I'm very happy to get it all into one. Your latest forecasts are in there. There's all sorts of good information. We've got the webcams, which I go through in the morning to check traffic, and I go through to check sky conditions all across Northwest Indiana. Just check it out for me. Again, I don't get kickback from it or anything like that. I made it as a resource for you guys. It's even great on mobile. If you hit the menu, you can access this stuff. You can just fly through this information so fast. And I also want to thank the 105 people that signed up for email updates just over the last 2 days. You can do that right on there. It says you subscribe to my inbox. I send out usually 1 or 2 weather updates a day at most. You get it right in your inbox. It's not invasive, and it's got the forecast when you click on it for Northwest Indiana, right for where we are, and it talks about the weather where we are, which is something that you don't always get with weather apps that are usually computers that just spit out numbers that don't always are accurate. That's that. So thank you guys very much. Okay, Erica, thank you. She says she loves the new layout. So I appreciate that. Okay, well, have a great night. Have a great weekend as well. We'll be with you, obviously, on the radio stations tomorrow morning with the latest update, and we'll also be with you all weekend as well. We're not leaving. So, okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Take it easy.